Hello, everyone. This is Brian Germain from Yosemite. That's right. I'm standing on the top of El Cap. How cool is that? So I'm using the amazing Skydive Sim virtual reality skydiving training system. Absolutely astounding. This feels so real. The El Cap Meadow is down below here, and you can see the landing area pretty clearly. You just got to cross a road to get over there. Shall we do this? What do you say? This is amazing. So make sure, of course, when you do a base exit, you check your gear first. Make sure your leg straps are on before you worry about your GoPro. Check your altimeter. I just reset mine. It's actually best if you reset your altimeter after you exit. Once you're in the air, if you push the right joystick button in, it'll reset the altimeter based on the location where you are. But standing on the ground here, it's not going to work terribly well. You got to make sure you project outward. Otherwise, you're going over. So look straight out when you do a base exit. And I'm out. I'm going to do a little tracking. Let me see if I can get myself out away from the rock a little bit. And I'm going to pull high so we can get a beautiful view on the rear risers, ready to steer that canopy away from an obstacle and unstow the toggles. Wow. Right? It's an amazing place. You know, it's very easy to forget how beautiful the world is when you're sitting at a computer. You know, so I'm going to reset my altimeter right now. I've got loads of altitude and all the base jumpers are like, dude, why did you pull so high? Well, maybe because I wanted to see the beautiful view. Now, this is not a view that people will get a chance to see legally. It's still illegal to jump into national parks in the U.S. However, that might change someday. You know, if enough of us speak up and say, you know, we have a right to enjoy the park our way. You know, we're not idiots. We know what we're doing. So I'm setting myself up for final approach into El Cap Meadow. Looking good. I like this approach. Staying forward, feet underneath my body, looking forward. Tension on the brakes, flaring, looking forward, and touching down. Wow. All right, that's amazing. Awesome. Well, that was amazing, and luckily I got rockets, so I'm going to pop up here and take a look around. I think this is pretty darn cool to be able to do multiple jumps without replaying the scene. And it also allows me to kind of explore the terrain on the way up, you know, to get a better idea of the line that I'd like to take. Now down here, you see that there's a landing area over there, nice meadow that I know is a lovely landing area. Kind of deep grass, but we know how to PLF, no big deal. So I'm going to fly over to these cliffs over here. I've flown this line virtually many times, and it's just lovely. Absolutely beautiful place, right? Gosh, you know, you got to get out of the house. You know, the reason why I do these things isn't just to show you how cool this sim is. It's to inspire you to get outside and go explore nature and kind of ground yourself in the beauty of our planet. So I can get high enough here. I'm going to reset my altimeter and make sure. I hope that people get outside. That's kind of what it's all about. So I killed my jets, and now I'm going to wave off and pull on my BOC, get on those rear risers right away to avoid any potential impact with cliffs or people. And I'm going to make sure my parachute works. So I'm going to hang out over here over this high plateau and bleed off a little bit of altitude to set myself up to fly down a lovely line that has a lot of interesting features. So if you just punch in on the Google Maps Yosemite or El Capitan, you'll find this valley, and you'll want to play here a lot. It's so cool. Absolutely astounding spot. So I'm getting a little bit lower now, and I'm going to just kind of eyeball that line. I'm going to get into fronts here. That's the triggers. so I can dive down into this bowl and fly the line that I like to fly. Here we go. So kind of getting the edge of the top here. I'm going to fly myself into the terrain and then carve around this rock. So much fun. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I actually do this sort of thing in the real world. And so to compare and contrast to what the Skydive Sim offers in terms of realism, I'm impressed. I mean, the way the parachute performs is realistic enough that you really are training. And the view using Google Earth is so cool. And it gives you, kind of that expectation of what things will look like to a certain degree. And you can obviously be a lot more imaginative and take bigger risks when you're doing it in a virtual environment. But I don't know. I think to be able to expand our imagination to what we could do, if you had infinite lives, so to speak, then you can kind of figure out what is a reasonable thing to do in the real world and what isn't. So I'm going to wrap around here and I'll take one last look at the beautiful view. I can make it to the field here, and I know that because that field in front of me is not rising. If I hold my eyes real still, if the field is rising, I can't make it. So in this case, I'm good to go. I'm kind of trying to get an idea of what I might encounter as I get lower, always looking for power lines, obstructions, rocks, uneven terrain, wet spots, all that stuff. So I'm setting myself up on a downwind leg now. I'm going to bend it over to the right and create a little bit of space to fly a pattern. Looking at my altimeter, I'm going to reset the view. It's about 300 feet. So I have to reset that altimeter with the right joystick periodically if I'm flying over uneven terrain. Stretching myself out here over the trees so I don't overglide past my target. Kick the tree here. Woo! Now I'm going to set myself up for the landing, tensioning the brakes, feet under the body, getting ready to flare, flattening it out a little bit, and I can make it all the way to my target. There you go. Nice. Absolutely astounding. Amir, you did such a great job here in creating this unbelievable sim that the world needs to know about. I think it's really just a fantastic opportunity for non-skydivers and skydivers alike to enjoy each other's company in a social skydiving environment where you can explore the world, meet new people, right? Because we can do meetups and do regularly. At this point, we're doing Wednesday evenings, East Coast time, 7 o'clock right now is what we've been doing. And we've got a number of folks that come, and we'll probably fly this site together tonight. All right, checking my altitude. Now, if I fly over this, it says that I'm at 1,500. Now I'm going to fly over El Cap Meadow and check my altimeter again and reset the altimeter, and the value now says 3,000 feet. So the altimeter is based on where you are over the ground at that location. So you're going to have to reset your view periodically with the right joystick. Just push it in like a button. All right, so I'm going to get myself high enough up and over cool terrain that I can fly down. I flew a really cool line over here by these rocks earlier, and I want to share that with you. It's so awesome. Right now it's cold outside and sort of, snowy and mushy snow, so it's not even really good for skiing. So I get a chance to do my favorite thing, fly my parachute in the mountains on VR and get that buzz. So jets are off. I'm in free fall. I'm going to wave off and reach back to the BOC and pull, get on those rear risers, get ready for evasive action on the rears. And then if you're heading towards clear airspace, unstow your toggles and try turns both right and left, right? I understand you want to look for traffic, of course, but you also want to look at your canopy to make sure everything is doing what it should do. You know, I understand it's just a game. Well, but it's also training. All right, you're training your brain to do the things that you'll need to do in the sky. And checking your parachute is one of the most important things that you can do. Wow, right? Absolutely wonderful. I love this place. All right, so here we go. So we're going to set up for a line that I don't know if I would do exactly this line in the real world, but it's a cool shot. Look at that. Amazing. And of course, what I'm seeing is different from what you're seeing. You're seeing a two-dimensional screen, whereas if I turn my head, I see what's behind me. So it really creates this amazing sense of realism, where you just feel absolutely immersed in this environment. Woohoo! I'm going to fly here over the trees. Now I can flatten my glide out a little bit by adding rear risers in the real world. Pulling on the rear risers a little bit will flatten your glide. But in the Skydive Sim, we don't actually have rear risers set up. So if you go to about half brakes, that will flatten your glide as if you got on the rears. So I'm going to set myself up for what I see as a pretty nice landing area on the other side of the river. Take another look around, and before it's over, you take that deep breath and go, wow. Wow is my favorite sensation. It's why I jump out of airplanes and hike in the forest and paddle rivers, to have that feeling of awe at being alive. And I think if we seek out these moments, we will be happier. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to get myself a little bit further out and set myself up for this approach into this field, kind of round field. Now I'm going to turn right and start my downwind leg out towards the river, and I'm looking at the target as I do this. Make sure my altimeter's reset, 7.9. And on my downwind leg here, I'm going to kind of get a sense of how wide I need to be, how deep I need to be on my approach based on the angles. Right, so the glide angle of my canopy is approaching 3:1. So I'm going to set myself up for that geometry. So there's my target. And now I'm going to bend it around to the left. And I'm going to steepen myself a little bit on the front risers, which is the trigger buttons on the VR. Drive myself down. Look at that. There's like rocks or something. Flaring, leaning forward, looking forward, and touching down. That's amazing. Well, my name is Brian Germain, and I'm glad to share this amazing experience with you. I hope to see you on the VR groups at some point, and possibly in a real-life Canopy course at a drop zone near you. Have a great day.